Legendary Zelda dev wasn't too pleased about working on A Link to the Past as it robbed his enjoyment of playing the finished game. I still really don't want to play that game. Don't ask former Nintendo artist Takaya Imamura about A Link to the Past. So I came across this article and I was, really sad to kind of hear this information just because as someone that is a big Zelda fan myself, I love that franchise and I love those games. Unfortunately, A Link to the Past is one of the ones that I haven't beaten. I've played it before a long time ago back in the day, but I never actually finished it. It's kind of the same with the original first Zelda. And hearing this information from this artist, I think is really unfortunate just because I've never worked for any gaming company myself. I would love to have the opportunity to work for Nintendo if ever given the chance. So, one of the things that, obviously if you've ever given the chance to be able to work for a company like Nintendo, one of the things I would want to do would be able to actually work with Nintendo. So seeing this information happen for this guy, I feel like it's really unfortunate. I feel like it's very understandable, but it's just, something that would just crush me personally if this was something I had to go through. So we'll go ahead and check out the article here and then we'll get into this. So former Nintendo veteran Takaya Imamura may have some of the most beloved Zelda games under his belt, though working on the beloved franchise was something he initially wasn't keen on doing at all. Speaking to Edge in the magazine's latest issue, artist Imamura recalls that he wasn't too pleased about helping out with A Link to the Past when initially drafted in. Not because he had anything against Link and the gang, but more so because he was looking forward to playing the game as a fan and not dealing with the strenuous process of QA. So, I mean, that's something I can definitely see myself and I can definitely understand. Being a huge fan of the franchise and being a gamer, yeah, it is one of those things. If you're working for a company like Nintendo and you hear that they're going to be making a Zelda game, a new one, I would definitely see myself being like, oh man, I'm going to be looking forward to playing this whenever it does come out as a fan. But being put to work on it and having to do some of the strenuous, tough work to be able to kind of help the game develop, I feel like that would kind of be unfortunate to be put in that type of position. So definitely understandable from my opinion. So, to tell the truth, when I was asked to help out with the Zelda team, I wasn't too pleased about it, he shared. I didn't really want to, and the reason was because I wanted to enjoy the game when it was finished as a player. I can remember that feeling even now, which is, again, really understandable. I can totally see where he's coming from. I also remember that the debugging, the QA was really tough, having to do the same thing over and over again. I still really don't want to play that game. The testing was that difficult. Even now, if I just jump into the game for a minute or so, the feeling comes back. It's like PTSD or something. And that's crazy right there because you got to think A Link to the Past, if I'm not mistaken, came out in 91. So the fact that it's been what, like 24 years and this person is still having this problem whenever they try to go back and play the game, I feel like that sucks. That is so unfortunate. And I was kind of thinking about it with if they were to actually make, let's say, like a Link to the Past remake similar to the way that they did Link's Awakening, would this be something that he would still be feeling the same way about? Or would it be like, just because more than likely he wouldn't be involved with that one. So if something were to be remade like that in that regard with like the little cartoonish look to it, would he be able to actually go back and play the game itself? Chances are I feel like he probably would, but knowing that this is something he deals with the original game still to this day, I feel like that's so unfortunate and that sucks, man. Especially cuz from what I've heard, like I said, I haven't beaten the whole game myself, but every time I hear someone talk about A Link to the Past, they always mention that that's one of they feel is one of the greatest Zelda games out there. So, knowing that this individual wasn't able to actually enjoy it as a fan and as a gamer himself, I'm like, dude, that sucks. That really sucks. So, ouch. Imamura goes on to explain that he came to work on the Zelda game as the previous one did so well that then president of Nintendo, Hiroshi Yamauchi, said he wanted a sequel done in a year. And that's got to be definitely the hard part for him was the fact that whenever he got set in that they had to work on it for about a year. So, if they only had a year to get it developed fully, chances are he was putting some strenuous work just to be able to get that thing debugged and make sure it was running smoothly, which I'm sure was not easy at all. And then at the time, I was already on another project and I got called in, yet again, into a Zelda project halfway through, he said. Again, I wanted to experience it as a player, not actually work on it, but hey, there you go. And that's unfortunate, to hear that news because, it probably messed with him a bit. And I'm also curious if he was already working on another Zelda project, what project was that exactly that he was working on? That, you know what I mean? And I'm wondering if whatever other Zelda game he was working on, if it kind of messed with him in the same way where he kind of didn't want to play that one. I mean, probably not since he doesn't actually mention anything about it. But the fact that that happens with the Link to the Past, that sucks, dude. That really sucks. There you go, indeed. Next time you play A Link to the Past, maybe spare a thought for Imamura, who gave up playing the game stress free so you could experience it unlike he did. Which is so sad, man. And like I said, it's been 24 years. That's wild. The fact that it's something that he still has to deal with and he still suffers from to this day. So, I don't know, man. I'm gonna see maybe if I can kind of go back to playing A Link to the Past one of these days, get the opportunity to actually finish it because it does look like it's such a great game. But yeah, it is gonna be one of those things. If I do go back and play that game, I am gonna have to put this man in my thoughts and kind of send some hopefully good vibes his way in that regard. So yeah, that's a crazy story to hear. So those are my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. If you guys could like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys have been watching this long, I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And yeah, until next time, Harmonic out. Peace.